I am pregnant and my boyfriend is threatening to take our baby from me when born. I am 12 weeks pregnant with a planned pregnancy and my boyfriend is threatening to take our child away after a bad fight. He has a bad temper and we have been fighting more often since I got pregnant. These fights can get explosive, especially when he drinks, which he does a lot. Since I've been pregnant he has screamed at me, threatened to hurt my dog and my cat because they don't behave like he thinks they should. He punches things when he is angry or slams doors. He slammed the sliding glass door so hard the other night that it stopped closing all the way. Usually these fights end with me crying and him falling asleep. He will apologize the next day once he sobers up. Tonight was the worst I have ever seen him. We both work for the same company and I set up and even that he volunteered to work. Everything was fine all day until the end. He called me to say "Foo," and if I ever set up another event he will leave me and take our child. He called me again later to pick him up because him and his ride got into an argument where they both almost got arrested. He was over an hour away. I drove there and he refused to get into my car. He started berating me and calling me and my family horrible names. He told me to get an abortion. I ended up leaving after an hour because he refused to come with me. Then he was mad because he couldn't find a hotel to stay in and I left him. He got an Uber home and started grabbing all of his stuff and told me he's going to take me to court and he will win custody of our child. He makes significantly more than me and said that the court will rule in his favor and I will never see our kid again. I recorded while he was yelling at me tonight. Can I use this as evidence? I also have eyewitnesses' evidence that he is verbally abusive. Is there anything else I should do to help my case? Location is required for a reason, but in general in the U.S. these fights can get explosive, especially when he drinks, which he does a lot. Since I've been pregnant he has screamed at me, threatened to hurt my dog and my cat because they don't behave like he thinks they should. He punches things when he is angry or slams doors. He slammed the sliding glass door so hard the other night that it stopped closing all the way. You need to file a police report. Your boyfriend's actions are almost surely going to be a form of domestic violence that the police and courts can help with. And a call to the National Domestic Violence Hotline is also likely in order. National Domestic Violence Hotline hours, 24/7. Languages: English, Spanish and 200+ through interpretation service. Learn more 800-799-7233. And don't excuse the behavior as a bad night. It won't get better. File the report so if boyfriend does decide to be wicked and take action post-birth, you have documented history of abuse and it will be an uphill battle for him. Thank you. I have been TXT-ing the hotline since I saw your reply. I wasn't even 100% sure if this was abuse at all, but these comments and the hotline have opened my eyes. Well, I knew it wasn't right, but there is still that little bit of denial. Be so careful. The most deadly part of pregnancy is the partner. I'm so happy to see you have already reached out to the hotline. Please stay safe for you and your baby. Follow the advice those professionals can get you. Dealing with alcoholics can be hard, especially when the instinct is to forgive them when they are sober. But you deserve better and your baby deserve better. If your boyfriend wants to change down the road, he will have to do it himself. That's not your burden. You focus on making a healthy baby and then having a good life with your baby. 100% abuse and your boyfriend is an alcoholic. Hard stop. Taking your child from you forever is an empty threat intended to control you. It's also an extremely common tactic for abusive men. Even in the unlikely circumstance that he would go to court for custody, this man does not want a baby. He would never get more than shared custody. You should get out of this situation, cut contact with him, and when your child is born, do not tell yourself that you need to encourage a relationship between the baby and his father. This man is evil and has told you that he wants to hurt you. Do what you're legally required to by a court order, with a lawyer's help if at all possible. You are being abused. A planned pregnancy with a BF doesn't sound like a good decision. Abusers often use pregnancy to exert more control over their victim. It's so common for abuse to escalate during pregnancy. It's been researched and is a huge red flag medical providers and social workers look for. Women are more vulnerable when pregnant and at heightened risk of abuse and death from partners during this time, and some abusers intentionally get their partners pregnant knowing it makes it harder for you to leave. You can A. Leave him and have an abortion and never talk to him again. B. Leave him and have the baby, Ask him to relinquish his parental rights and never talk to him again. A lawyer can help with this. C. Leave him and get child support and potentially shared custody, co-parenting with your abuser. You'll want a lawyer sooner than later to help you build your case. Start collecting all the evidence of abuse you can. If your state allows single-party consent for recording, you need to use your phone, an old phone, a nanny cam, etc. to help you collect evidence. Put all your evidence in a brand new Google Drive he doesn't know exists with a password not saved anywhere. So it is backed up somewhere your lawyer and no one else can access. Have your eyewitnesses write down or record what they witnessed so there is a record of it. Your lawyer will be able to more easily see who is saying what, and if it will be useful to have PPL say what they saw in a more official way for the court. If you have witnesses to abuse, it's also good to call and file a police report when the abuse happens to get a paper trail going. Having enough evidence can help you get a protective order during any legal fight and help the court see he is a safety threat. Consider yourself, your pets and tour baby at risk for physical harm from him. He is already using threats of violence to control you. Be careful and have a plan for what to do short-term and long-term, including if things escalate. If you have to leave suddenly before all your ducks are in a row, know what shelters accept pets. Know what hotels are cheap and allow pets. Know a friend who you can stay with or who will watch your pets while you are in a shelter or somewhere else that is safe. I also recommend calling the domestic abuse hotline. They can help you. Often there are local, state hotlines also, and legal funds for helping to get abuse victims proper legal advice and a social worker when needed. Shelters have resources and often calling them can help you get on track even if you aren't staying there. Additionally, consider changing passwords and phone codes, etc. Check your phone for suspicious apps and use an encrypted communications app that prompts you to log in for sensitive topics to prevent him snooping or tracking you. Turn off location features on apps such as Snapchat. Lawyer here, but not yours. Assuming that you are in U.S., it would be wise to make an immediate application for a temporary restraining order. While the process and standard varies from state to state, if granted he will be removed from your residence, unable to contact you or your friends, family and work, and precluded from coming anywhere near you under threat of arrest and criminal charges. The orders can often have financial terms for support and rent payments, as well, in addition to custody terms if need be. Even if he is not physically abusing you, harassment and emotional abuse are more than sufficient to allow an order to be entered to help to ensure your safety and well-being. While the initial order is based upon your statements to the court, there will eventually be a final hearing as to whether to make the protection order permanent, and you will have to prove your case and your boyfriend is permitted to defend against your claims. However, most jurisdictions work with non-profit groups which help victims of domestic abuse, and have resources to help with counseling, finding or proving attorney, and helping with housing if necessary. Domestic violence is a huge problem in society. Try to avail yourself to the laws and resources put in place to help people in your position. Good luck. Leave him. The leading cause of death for pregnant people is domestic violence. He's escalating. File a police report and leave. Everything can be sorted out after you have your child. If you still wish to have the child. As everyone here has given solid advice, I'll add this. Keep a burn book somewhere on a hidden email that he can't access or in a place he can't ever see. Record everything. Date, time, details, screencaps of abusive and threatening messages, photos of evidence to back you up, etc. If you leave, and I agree, you should hire a good lawyer and give them a copy of your burn book. It will all be there complete with date stamps and timestamps to establish the fact that he is unfit to be around your child unsupervised, or, at all, if that's what it comes to. Be safe, Op. Domestic violence can be triggered by pregnancy. You need to file a police report and try to get a restraining order, right now. This will be on record should he try to get any form of custody. Keep all evidence and give everything to your lawyer: recordings, videos, texts, emails. Delete or lock down all your social media. Change all your passwords. Make sure he has no access to your bank account. Change the locks of your home and get a security system, or at the very least a door camera. Block him everywhere. Notify the hospital that he is not allowed in or near the delivery room. They will the police, and this will also go on record. Best case, he will get aggressive to the medical staff and/or security and get arrested. Do not put him on the birth certificate or any other legal documents. Your lawyer can delay the DNA test, should a test be asked for. Do not contact him anymore, and report everything he does. Leave him now. Don't let him know where you go and make sure he can't find you or the baby. Your pregnancy has just snapped the trap set by an abuser. Obviously, you want this baby, but you are now tethered for life to this man and he has what he needs to hurt you. Take that as you will, but I'd explore alternatives to pregnancy and save 2 ppl some serious abuse in the future. Otherwise, time to get familiar with the cops and DV services because you're gonna need them for at least the next 18 years. Be safe, op. On top of what everyone else has said, talk to your obstetrician about the situation and ask her whether there's a social worker she can put you in touch with. If it's a hospital setting, there should be one. Get out of this relationship now. It'll only get worse and it'll only get harder. Seriously consider whether abortion is right for you at this point. If you keep the baby, know that you have a vast amount more freedom of movement now than you will once the baby is born. The baby is instantly a resident of whatever state it's born in, and that state will be the venue for any custody proceedings. If you want to move the baby out of state after it's born, expect that it will be hard to win that battle. If you want to move now, there's nothing he can do to stop you, and you currently have no legal obligation to even tell him where you're going or maintain contact. He won't have any legal rights to the child unless he locates you and takes you to court in the state the baby was born in. He's more likely to end you and that baby before it gets a chance. Get a lawyer. Op. In most states you have options. Consider all of them before you're stuck with this guy for the entirety of your life and register private at the hospital. Get out now. His behavior will only get worse once the baby is born. And please take the pets with you. They don't stand a chance if you leave them behind. Link can direct you to resources help you create a plan to get him out of your life safely.